I want to take the second part of that question first and remember Don Jewell, who taught at Luther and who has passed away now, went to Princeton. He had a conversion as a New Testament teacher to the importance of these stories. And he realized that all the methods that he felt that he had learned to study the Bible didn't really help you understand the Bible all that much better. Now, I think it's gotten much better since his time. This would be 15 years ago. But I think that in seminary, to be sure that what we are communicating also communicates with it the gospel, the promise of the text, the strength of the story, how these stories connect. It's very important that we not just be learning pieces here and there about the Bible. And insofar as seminaries don't do that, that's a problem. I think most of them probably do a pretty good job. You're absolutely right in your comment about congregations. Biblical literacy is not what one would expect it to be, which simply makes my point all the more stronger, that we need to tell them the stories. You can tell them to the children in the children's sermon. That's my advice to pastors. For children's sermons, just tell them Bible stories. You don't have to give the moral or what it means. Just get the stories in there. Here's something that I always try to say about that. When I learned to preach, I only learned, and from what I had learned in seminary, I only knew one thing to do, and that was to get ideas into people's heads. If you'd have said, well, what else could you? I wouldn't have known how to answer that. So obviously my sermons were mostly mini Lutheran theological lectures, putting ideas in people's heads. Now I have discovered in my old age that there's something else I can do, and that is to put people in people's heads. I want to put Moses and Sarah and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Rachel and Rebecca and Jesus and Mary. I want to put those stories in the minds of my listeners. And I see that as a process. You're not filling people up with ideas here. You're filling up with stories and these people. But these people then become for you traveling companions through life. Traveling companions through life. A woman once heard me talk about this, and she came to me afterwards and she said, I lost a baby last year. And I immediately, somehow I started thinking about Hannah in the Bible. She said, is that what you mean? I said, it's exactly what I mean. So, put people in people's heads. Tell biblical stories. I reviewed for our little conversation today a book that came out a couple years ago, What's the Matter with Preaching Today? And they had lots of different answers, but the dominant answer time and time again was that our preaching is too dominated by both a literate kind of approach, but also with ideas and explanations. Those have their place, but that cannot be all that we do in preaching.